Let's talk about the dark and twisted world of medieval torture devices. These tools of terror weren't just for show, they were meticulously designed to inflict maximum pain and suffering. Let's explore 10 of the most infamous methods used during medieval times. First, we have the notorious rack. Introduced in 15th century England by the Duke of Exeter, this device earned its grim nickname, the Duke of Exeter's Daughter. Imagine being strapped to a rectangular frame with your wrists and ankles bound by ropes. As a mechanical crank turned, the ropes would pull, stretching your body until joints were dislocated, ligaments snapped, and even limbs could be torn away. This relentless torture was designed to break the will of the victim, forcing them to reveal their secrets. Next up is the spine-chilling Judas cradle, also known as the Judas chair. This pyramid-shaped device was as terrifying as it sounds. The victim was hoisted above the device and then slowly lowered onto its sharp, spiky top. Over time, their body weight would force the point of the pyramid into their pelvis, causing excruciating pain and potentially severe internal damage. Its mere threat was often enough to force confessions, especially during the infamous Spanish Inquisition. Moving on, we have the pear of anguish. Shaped like a pear, this handheld metal device featured 4 leaves that unfurled like a flower when a screw was turned. Inserted into a victim's mouth or other orifices, the leaves were gradually opened to cause intense internal pain. While not typically fatal, it was enough to break a person's spirit or force a confession. There's even debate among historians about whether this device truly dates back to medieval times, or if it's actually a product of the early modern period. Let's talk about the brazen bull. Legend has it that this brutal invention came from ancient Greece. Perillus of Athens presented the idea to the tyrant Phalaris as a novel method of execution. However, Perillus made the fatal mistake of demonstrating it on himself. The victim was placed inside a hollow metal bowl with a fire lit underneath, turning the device into a horrific oven. Ingeniously, Phalaris even added pipes to channel the victim's screams, making them sound like the bellowing of a bull. Whether or not it was widely used during the medieval period, its reputation as a symbol of cruelty endures. In stark contrast to the complex mechanisms we've seen so far, rat torture was chilling in its simplicity. The method involved trapping a starving rat on a victim's stomach, often under a bucket, and then heating the area until the rat, desperate to escape the scorching heat, would bite its way through the victim's flesh. The slow, agonizing process made it one of the most dreaded forms of torture. Next, we have the tongue tearer. This brutal device looked much like a pair of gardening shears, but its purpose was far more sinister. After being heated over a fire, the instrument was clamped onto a victim's tongue and then twisted to rip it out. Often used to silence those accused of blasphemy or heresy, it served as a gruesome method to literally take away a person's ability to speak. Another horrifying device was the wheel, also known as the breaking wheel or Catherine wheel. Used from ancient times all the way into the 19th century, it was as versatile as it was brutal. Victims could have the wheel dropped on their limbs, breaking bones, or be tied to its spokes and beaten. In some cases, the wheel was even turned over a fire or forced down a rocky hillside, with spikes added to further ensure the pain was prolonged. To complete the spectacle, the broken body might be displayed as a grim warning to others. The thumbscrew might appear deceptively simple, but it is very effective. Believed to have originated in the Russian army before making its way to Europe, this device involved placing a victim's thumbs, or even other digits, between 2 metal bars. As the screw tightened, the pressure crushed bones, and sometimes even punctured the flesh with added spikes or nails. While it rarely caused death, it was incredibly effective in extracting confessions or punishing minor offenses. Despite its iconic status, the Iron Maiden is shrouded in mystery. Although many associate it with medieval torture, historical evidence suggests that its use may not have even begun until as late as 1802. The device was essentially an upright iron coffin lined with spikes, designed to impale vital organs when closed. Legend even tells of spikes aimed to pierce the eyes, intensifying the horror and suffering over the course of hours. Last but not least, we have the heretic's fork. This tool was used during the Spanish Inquisition to torment those accused of heresy. Resembling a double-ended fork, it was strapped to the victim's neck with one prong pressed under the chin and the other against the breastbone. Once in place, the device ensured that any movement would drive the forks painfully into the flesh, preventing sleep, speech, and sanity. Each of these devices tells a story of the extreme measures used in the name of justice and control. Were these devices merely symbols of tyranny or practical tools of punishment? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.